now that you've been getting around the indies a lot more, what are some slept on promotions and some slept on talent that maybe people haven't noticed yet that they need to be checking out?
Man, there are so many people out there. It's so cool for me. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world because, I remember when I decided to come back, I'm like, man, I don't think anyone's even going to remember me or want to book me anymore. And like, I'm just so blessed. And then and because I had stayed away from wrestling, for 3-4 years, I didn't know about Daniel Garcia. I didn't
Right.
know about these guys. I didn't know how good Jonathan Gresham had gotten. You know what I mean? And so it's just so awesome, man, to go and see that. But I think people are slept on. One guy who I'm wrestling Friday, Kevin Blackwood, he's really good. So I really like wrestling him. Trying to think who else we got. I mean, we got this a couple of guys here in St. Louis, this Camaro Jackson and Mike Outlaw. They're really good and they're ready to really go to the
I've
next
heard really good things about Mike Outlaw.
Yeah, and Camaro Jackson, man, is just man, he's built. He's
All right.
a D1 football player and he looks every bit of it. But yeah, I think I've just wrestled so many guys that are so good. It's hard. When people ask me this question, I'm always like, oh, like I wrestled Cole Radrick. He was really good.
Love Cole. Cole's a great guy.
Yeah, like I never heard of Casey Navarro before I wrestled him, and like that was my second match back, and we had it was awesome, and so there's a lot of these guys, and it's just really is how much time you got, really, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so yeah, a lot of really good talent, but the first thing that comes to mind is someone like a Kevin Blackwood who's just getting so good, and like I never heard of JD Drake before I came back, and I wrestled him. I was like, Jesus Christ! I mean, because you look at him, you're like, okay, and you're like,
Right.
where the hell did you come from? You know what I mean? So and I think it's really good, man. Everyone's getting better, and wrestling seems like so much more of a positive environment than the one I left. So I'm really happy about it. Or maybe it's just I'm changing. I don't know, but either
I
way,
think it is.
yeah.
I think it is getting to a better place.
Yeah.
We had the speaking out movement recently in the wrestling industry, and which needed to happen. I think you're seeing a lot of people starting to boycott promotions that are not taking any accountability and continuing to book shitty people. It seems like there's just more and more positivity. And I think a part of that has been like a Team Ambition or a Big Starks brand or so it's normally an MMA thing, the whole camp team pack thing.
Right.
Do you think Team Ambition's kind of pioneering that mindset in the pro wrestling business?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I've always, been very outspoken about professional wrestling as a sport.
Right.
And to this day, I just don't see how anyone would consider it otherwise. People can say it's entertainment, but okay, well, football's entertainment. Boxing's entertainment, but those are real sports because, some things, not all things are predetermined. But like, if you think we're not competing to have the best match or anything
Absolutely.
like that, you know what I mean? So that being said, treating it like a real sport, which I think it is, and that's where wrestling came from. That you need a team. You need a team. You know what I mean? So and I've always foregone a lot of the entertainment stuff. You know what I mean? And that probably cost me in some areas, but the benefit of that is I've always been able to focus on the sports side, which is like the athletic performance, but also like the training. I've been through a lot of training camps and really searched things out. And so I feel like I have a lot to offer in that regard. So I just want to build good athletes. I want to build good athletes and ring generals, because I think that's what wrestling needs more than anything right now is people who can take like, okay, that guy's good. And I can take what he does and make it even better, because that's how the business grows and evolves, as opposed to like, well, dude, don't do my shit, or like, this guy's trying to show me up, and it's like, come on, dude. I mean, so I want everyone to get better, because then I get better. I mean, if I'm the best wrestler in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Right. And where you think that, maybe the entertainment aspect that wasn't your priority, you look at your coaching staff and you got Warhorse, you've got Dan the Dad,
Mhm.
where that's they draw people in with their
Oh, yeah,
entertainment.
absolutely.
So, I mean, your coaching staff, and we're starting to see it in promotions. We're getting a little bit of everything, and I think
Yeah.
fans are just eating it up. I think it's okay to be an entertainment wrestler now.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
okay to be a pure technical wrestler now
Yep.
because there's so much wrestling out there now, and
Yeah.
fans just they can't get enough. They want to eat it up, and there's
Yeah.
a taste for everything. I think a perfect example of that right now is Danhausen, just
Yeah.
signed with AEW,
Yeah.
and the dude's taking over the wrestling world,
Mhm.
and he hasn't wrestled a match in AEW,
Yeah.
and so I think there's something to say for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we've got a listener. His name is Jake, and every interview we have, he finds some deep question that no one but him seems to know when it comes to doing research.
Okay.
He told me to ask you about Jimmy Rave and when the toilet paper broke the chandelier.
First off, rest in peace, Jimmy.
Yes.
So I was, pardon me, I was brought into Ring of Honor the wrong way.
Okay.
So I was supposed to go and beat Brian Danielson my first night in the company, which, oh my God, thank God that didn't happen because that would have backfired on me. But I was brought in immediately, being put over on guys. And, I'm a 20-something-year-old kid. I'm just happy to be there, um, so Jimmy had every single reason in the world to be like, hey, who are you, dude? Like, I don't think so. And the dude was nothing but kind and giving. Like, he just wanted to make the match better. I mean, I could not have had a better intro to Ring of Honor than Jimmy. So our first match was in Connecticut, and our second match was in New York, but it wasn't the Manhattan Center. It was the building they used to run there before that, and it was the show where Joe, Kenta, and Brian had the three-way, some kind of ballroom. It was a big chandelier. Anyways, so they used to throw the toilet paper.
Yep.
Well, at this point in the game, I'm just so like amped up. I just focus on the match. I could be on fire and I wouldn't even know. And so they break the chandelier, blah blah blah, da da da. But I didn't notice that. You know what I mean? And then so, and I remember like we were like taking just like I remember like we did like a real like a short, a really basic bump, and I got a huge reaction. I was like, "Fuck, I must have did that really good." I didn't know I was bumping on glass. I had no idea. I didn't feel anything. And
Yeah,
then
with the adrenaline going.
yeah, and then Jimmy actually slipped on the glass with his knee, and that's when he broke my orbital bone. So that, which was not his, it was an accident, no big deal.
Right.
And then I get to the back, and like everyone's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm thinking they're talking about my eye, and they're like, "No, your back's bleeding." I'm like, "What?" And like it was like not a lot, but when it mixes with sweat, you know what I mean? And I'm like, "What the flip happened out there?" And I was like, "Oh, the toilet paper hit the chandelier and it broke, and you guys wrestled that whole match in glass." And I'm like, I guess I'm a deathmatch wrestler now. I don't know. But yeah, that's that story.
That's awesome.